Hi, I'm Katherine Trebeck. I'm a fellow of the Post-Growth Institute. And in the last year, I've moved away from beautiful town of Glasgow, which I spent almost 2 decades living in. And I've returned to my hometown, the town I grew up in, of Canberra, which is on Ngunnawal country in Australia. And since being back, I've had such a good time really learning about some initiatives that, to me, in different ways, give a feel for what a post-growth society, what a post-growth economy looks like in practice. So I'm going to share a couple of these with you, partly also for my own benefit, because I think it's really important to not just write about and read about post-growth in pages of reports and in books, but to really smell and hear and sense the potential of what it looks like when it's living and breathing and actually working in real time. So I'm going to share with you these cool initiatives. Cheers! So one of the other things I'm really loving about being back in Canberra is this group called Buy Nothing Groups. It's just a Facebook group and set up by a fantastic local guy, local green activist, green politician called Tim Hollow. And it's a Facebook group where you can share and exchange things that you no longer need, or you can also ask for things you're looking for. So we gave away a kid's bed that my parents had to someone who'd just come to Canberra recently and needed a kid's cot. We also gave away our dishwasher and some outdoor chairs, and I picked up a printer, which has been really, really handy, and also a tiny little barrel of a sort of little whiskey barrel for my husband, and a fan because it's really hot here in Canberra. And I'm just going to read you the beautiful words they have on their website to just give you a sense of what they're about. They say, "We offer members a way to give and receive, share and lend, and express gratitude through a worldwide network of micro-local gift economies in which the true wealth is a web of connections formed between people who are real-life neighbours." Pretty lovely, hey, this gorgeous little Buy Nothing group on Facebook. And to me, such a good example of some of the ethos and changes we need for a post-growth economy and post-growth society. I'm in one of my favourite spots in Canberra. It's a place called the Food Coop, where you can come in and get your refills of flour or spices here. And so that's brilliant in and of itself, so less plastic. I've got my soap suds over there just filling up. But what's also really important is they have this beautiful cafe over here where they provide cheap lunches and really support all sorts of folks who might be struggling to fit into Canberra and feel happy in Canberra and feel welcome. It's a really beautiful place, and it's all cooperative based on member contribution. It's just amazing, really special, wonderful spot. I'm in one of my favourite places in Canberra. It's the Tip, and they've got a part of the Tip called Green Shed, which I'm in right now, which is where they sort all the things that's reusable, sell it really, really cheap. It's a supported labour market entity as well, and a great way of just recycling things that otherwise would have gone to waste. So to give you an example, here, pieces of carpet look like they've never been used. I'm buying this, which is I think it's for a cutlery drawer, but I'm actually going to use it to tidy up all my sort of medicines and cough lollies and things. And down there, there's sporting goods, there's chairs, there's tables. Outside, there's a ton of outdoor gear. And it's just such a lovely, simple way of keeping things in constant reuse rather than throwing them away and adding to landfill. Absolutely cracking initiative. And I think we've probably furnished most of our house here in Canberra from this place. Cheers. One of the things that I can't help noticing is in so many sort of public spaces in cities and neighbourhoods around the world, is that if you want to sit and just be and just chill out, it's really hard to find a spot where you can do that without being moved on or without being forced to buy a latte from a multinational coffee company. And sometimes just the idea of just sitting and being is denigrated because you're not, or implicitly at least denigrated, because you're not consuming or you're not rushing out working. You're not adding to the formal economy. And so what I've really liked, this tiny little gesture here in Canberra, I'm going to try and turn my camera around so you can see it, is that this place here is just saying, these tables are for you, enjoy them. And it says if it's windy, lower the umbrella, and if it's sunny, raise the umbrella. And what I love about that is that's really deliberate opening up of public space for people just to be and chill out. And I think it's rather timely too that just over there is a public library, also a really, really important institution that's a part of the commons and part of taking care of each other and sharing goods differently rather than consuming them and all owning them ourselves. Cheers. Oh, and by the way, just automatically logged into the free Wi-Fi here. Another example of sort of collective goods that should be provided for everyone regardless of their ability to pay. So these are all really cool examples, I think, of the sort of approach to enterprise and public space and sharing and our resources and stuff and community that I think we need more of. I think they are pioneers of a post-growth economy. But of course, they currently exist within the current paradigm, and that's hard. At the time of recording this, the Food Coop, for example, is having to do a crowdfunding to get an injection of cash to be able to keep going. And so the question is, how do we make these incredible examples the mainstream? How do we make them the normal? And so often it has to be a combination of not just these individual incredible pioneering practices, but it has to be a combination of a massive change in policy regime. And again, there are some good examples here in Canberra. So at the moment, the local government has got a consultation out around changing the procurement policies around gender equality in construction projects. They're wanting to put gender on the tender. They're the sort of levers that local governments can use to change the economic ecosystem. So we need those sorts of policy shifts. We need national governments to be changing tax and structures to rebalance incentives, to encourage more cooperatives and more social enterprises. But we also need people to have the time and space to invest in things like Buy Nothing. I mean, it takes time to put something on Buy Nothing and to find someone to donate it to and to arrange and to coordinate. So often when people are feeling busy, it's easier just to buy something disposable. I, for example, got a printer from Buy Nothing and it broke, and I cannot find anywhere in Canberra to get it repaired. People just saying it's cheaper to throw it out and get another one. And of course, that's apparently cheaper because the environmental costs of doing so are not included. And so to me, these amazing pioneering examples give a real taste of the sort of economy we need, but they also remind us that pioneering practices are not enough. We need to change policies, and we absolutely need to change perceptions, mindsets about how people think about the economy, so that these things like the food co-op, things like having free Wi-Fi, things like having social enterprises, things like the circular economy are default, the natural way of doing things. They are our new habits. They become so ingrained.